Day 21 of Time Out with Backlog, and today it's The Last of Us Remastered. So, obviously, The Last of Us has become very controversial, with the second game coming out. And regardless what you think about the second game, the fact we're probably never getting a third one does put a damper on the whole story. But, as a standalone game, in terms of gameplay and story, the first game is incredible. Now, I know it's sometimes hard to look back on because two gameplay is quite that degree better. But when first experiencing The Last of Us Part 1, like the mix of good Naughty Dog gameplay with fantastic story writing, great characters, and just a great dynamic. Like we saw how well it worked out with the TV show, right? Because they took those dynamics and just put it in a TV show environment. They focused on other characters a bit, had a bit of fun with that, the Bill episode. That was nice because I think the Bill segment in the game could only work in a game, because it was very focused on the gameplay elements, from what I remember anyway. There was obviously different approaches to the characters, they were less happy in the game, but I do, in hindsight, really like the way it was approached. I know it's separate from, obviously I'm talking about a backlog here, but we're talking about The Last of Us, the remaster as a whole. Like, the way it was done in both mediums was very interesting. But I think the game, you felt the anger of Joel through the gameplay, which is really nice. So they had to do it in a different way in the show. But I also do like with the game is that, I find the initial actors a lot more emotionally resonant, I found now. It was because I was experiencing it for the first time in the game. But, the original actors for Joel and Ellie, whenever I think of the best adaptations of those events, I think of the game, man. I remember when, spoilers for the start of the game, when his child Sarah dies in the original game. That was such an emotional moment in the game, and it was very emotional in the show as well. But I just remember being shocked. I think because we didn't see this quality in gaming before, or at least on a larger scale. The only ones I can think of are Uncharted, which is another Naughty Dog game, right? I hadn't seen that level of cinematic quality before, and now we're used to it because that's what games are. Most games are like now, third-party games anyway. Less games and somewhat more cinematic pieces with gameplay, right? But to see it for the first time, it was very interesting, and obviously the zombie angle. I wasn't the biggest fan of The Walking Dead or anything. I hadn't been sucked into that culture, so this is my major zombie experience, and I quite enjoyed it. Obviously, as I said, I have my things with two, but I was still quite happy with how one turned